My name is Claudia Dunn, and I did the Fact Check It project over the documentary Cowspiracy, which was released in 2014. The documentary has two primary speakers that came up with the idea of exposing the truth on animal agriculture. First, there's Kip Anderson, the voice in the film, and Keegan Kunn, the videographer. Both of them were not vegan by any means throughout most of their life. They were just trying to save the planet through things such as turning off lights, shower infrequency, and recycling. Both of their lives took a different direction when they found out that animal agriculture is the leading cause of environmental destruction. This relates to the fact on how the majority of the film focuses on how being vegan can prove to be far more beneficial to the planet rather than just turning off the lights in your house. Kip Anderson is the founder of AUM Films and Media, a 501c3 nonprofit focused on creating films and media that promotes thrivability, compassion, and harmony for all life. The audience is anyone and everyone. It's for any person that seeks to make a true difference, know the truth behind all government agencies and environmental organizations, and for them to know that they aren't necessarily telling us the truth. And it's for everyone to be informed on the real reasons on why and how animal agriculture has become such an issue. The purpose of the film is to expose that animal agriculture is the leading cause of deforestation, water consumption, pollution, and greenhouse gases, and almost every other environmental ill, in hopes to get people to become vegan. The producers of the film wanted to reveal that these so-called environmental organizations are too afraid to talk about the most destructive industry facing our planet today, animal agriculture. Next, we will look at some rhetorical choices made in the film. Kip Anderson is the narrator of the story and starts out by saying that he is just like every other person. He has a family and uses animal products regularly. This is an immediate appeal to a lot of people that are watching the film. By making the process of converting to veganism seem easy, it encourages others to do the same and that it is never too late to start in life. The film made out all well-known environmental groups to be fearful. By cutting up interviews at different spots and moving them around and adding voiceovers that depicted all these people were keeping secrets that didn't exist about animal agriculture groups. It made other people fearful of these environmental organizations as well, because by cutting them up it put words into their mouth that they weren't actually saying. Some environmental organizations that were investigated in the film include Greenspace, Sierra Club, Surfrider Foundation, Rainforest Action Network, and many more. Next, the film shows many gruesome scenes of a man killing ducks in his own backyard, and people slaughtering fish as well. This displays that even family farms can be brutal. This on-screen slaughter depicts emotion among the audience, questioning their own ethics and background of the food that they are consuming. There is a constant repetition of the same and false facts throughout the film. One of the main facts is that animal agriculture is responsible for 51% of the global greenhouse emissions. They hope by the producers putting this information in many times that it will stay in their mind throughout the documentary, and I'll explain later why this specific piece of information is false. Next, we will look at ways the documentary was biased. Throughout the movie, Anderson interviews a majority of experts promoting how to save the planet and the effects of animal agriculture, and all of them happen to be vegan. This goes to show how the real underlying purpose is not only to inform, but also convert people to veganism. The film never interviews someone who is in an opposing viewpoint on animal agriculture. The film never addresses the struggles of becoming vegan and how it is truly a lifestyle. It's not so easy for the typical person, and it does require additional effort that isn't addressed in the film. Throughout Cowspiracy, there is a lot of information that is left out. When the narrator of the film, Kip Anderson, has a sudden realization that he couldn't affect climate change by just simply turning off lights, watching water consumption, walking and biking to work, and more, he came to the conclusion that the only way to fix this problem is to go against animal agriculture and to become vegan. While this is true that becoming vegan can prove to be very beneficial to the environment, the movie fails to acknowledge that the other things Anderson was doing before were also as important and easier for the common man to perform. Cattle grazing is a natural part of the carbon cycle and beneficial to plant life and wildlife. No acknowledgement in the movie how livestock manure is one of the best natural fertilizers to use for crops and pastures. It is incorporated into the soil and helps plants grow, and the movie fails to acknowledge how sometimes this is beneficial for the environment. The movie also has a lot of facts, but it fails to acknowledge or recognize how a lot of the information was found. It's not even on the Cowspiracy website. For example, the film claims that it takes 2,500 gallons of water to produce a pound of beef, but there is no explanation anywhere on how they got that information. A large majority of the film kept on pointing back to Livestock's Long Shadow, or the FAO, of 2006, a graphic showing that animal agriculture is responsible for 51% of greenhouse gas emissions, more than all transportation, which was at 13%. Global warming is the effects of natural greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and halogenide compounds. Livestock contributes to global warming through carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide. After further research, one of the authors of the book, Pierre Gerber, openly agreed that the calculations were wrong and based off of Associate Professor and Director of Agriculture Air Quality Dr. Frank Mithler. The paper that Cowspiracy had used was scientifically false and not peer-reviewed. And so even though that Cowspiracy knew that information was false and it was published in 2006, they ended up using it anyway. Additionally, the FAO reported that they only took into account tailpipe emissions from the transportation sector, not everything. Since then, the FAO, the Food and Agriculture Organization, in 2013 released that animal agriculture is accountable for 18% of global greenhouse emissions. Yet, Cowspiracy, which was released in 2014, did not acknowledge these new changes. While the 51% is a wrong number, the new 18% effect is still very detrimental and should be acknowledged by the people watching the film. The pie chart by the EPA, as shown in the picture, displays the global greenhouse emissions by sector. Next, Cowspiracy claims that methane comes from primarily cattle or enteric formation. Yet, according to the EPA, enteric formation only makes up 26% of all United States methane emissions. Methane is famous for being the second most dangerous greenhouse gas after nitrous oxide, and methane only takes up 10% of all greenhouse gases. Next, we have, near the end of the movie, one of the people interviewed said that it's not possible to be a meat-eating environmentalist. This goes back to the purpose of the film, that one of their main goals was to plant the seed in people's head that the only way to make a true difference is to become vegan. The definition of an environmentalist is a person who is concerned with or advocates the protection of the environment. So why do these lies exist? While the purpose seems to be to uncover the truth, to which some extent it does, the film ends with a simple message applied at the end: to go vegan. The purpose all along is to convert every human on the planet to go completely meat and animal product free, and to get rid of all domesticated animals. There was no compromise offered in the film, and absolutely no solutions. It seems like one must go vegan or face the consequences of killing the earth. So, if the film's real purpose was that the only solution to saving the earth is to go vegan, that is why there is so much manipulated and or left out information throughout the film. Even though the film does not state it, the goal throughout the film is to get people to turn vegan, and stretching some information and exaggerating how the only way to save the planet is to be vegan fulfills that need throughout the film. In conclusion, Cowspiracy could still make a very powerful message with how much animal agriculture is impacting the environment. Unfortunately, there is a lot of major facts throughout the film about global warming and greenhouse gases that are skewed information. Even by using the real information, Cowspiracy could have made an impact by revealing how bad animal agriculture is, but by the film focusing on how Western people need to change their lifestyles, the vision was lost through false information. However, the false information doesn't excuse how much of a serious issue animal agriculture is. The film still remains to have a good argument on how becoming vegan can make a difference in the underlying issues of animal agriculture throughout our world. Additionally, the film has a lot of true information on deforestation, water use, and local environment. Thank you.